Hello everybody, welcome again this week to ERA Wrestling. Daniel Terry here with you along with my unvictorious co-host joining me again this week.
You think that's funny, don't you?
I did think it was funny. I thought it was really entertaining.
What was so funny about it?
Well, you cost your guys the match. Well, we are going to be joined here on set with
Excuse me, Mr.
President
Daniel.
Board of Directors, JJ Windell.
I don't mean to butt in, but unfortunately, I had to come down here to take care of business.
What business do you have here?
No offense, but apparently you didn't get the message. You're clear, so I need to address this myself. Good job, but Jon Diamond. I fined you once. What for?
I don't know.
For going to the ring. John, you are not a manager. Seen no paperwork come across my desk where you applied for manager's license with ERA Wrestling. No manager. Let's see, what are you? You're a co-host. Not manager. Co-host. John, I realize we go back a long time. John, I've known you ever since you was that tall. We've had some bad times, and actually they've all been kind of bad times. But right now, I'm in charge. You're a co-host. Apparently the message wasn't clear. That fine wasn't clear enough. You trot to the ring again.
They needed me.
Your big help, they still lost, didn't they? So,
Rub it in.
tell you what, let's do. Let's just double that fine. We'll let your billfold do your work. We'll double the fine. You stay away from the ring. You are not a manager. You are a, say it with me, co-host. Okay?
You know, that's all you do. You come out here and bully me around. That's all this company does is bully me. I can't be a manager. I have to be a co-host. I have to be a commentator. That's not what I do. I'm a manager.
What I seen the other night, you wasn't a very good manager. I'm real sorry if I hurt its feelings. You knew the rules when you started. You get your paperwork in, what you're going to do. All I seen was co-host. Almost just a flunky in my book, but you're a co-host.
I don't have to take this.
Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us here this week with ERA TV. Hope Jon Diamond getting his issues with JJ Windell worked out right now. But right now in the ring we got Rogue and Jordan Christopher. Should be an interesting match.
You know what? I'm tired of old JJ Windell.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, did you get it patched up there, man?
No, not really.
What do you mean, no?
Fined me $2,000 for what happened last week.
Well, so you don't think that was fair?
No, I don't. They needed me at ringside, and I was there.
Well, let's go ahead and look past that for right now. Let's focus on this match. We got a newcomer again here this week. A guy named Rogue.
Taking on Jordan the Giraffe, right?
Did
you see that? He just gouged his eyes out.
Now, we don't know much about Rogue.
Looks like he knows how to fight.
Now, we do know he's been in this area some. Probably about, I would say, 6-7 years ago.
He knows how to choke a man. Look at that.
He does. Well, what I was getting at, I think he had moved on, maybe wrestled in a couple other states. Now he's right back here in Tennessee and in ERA Wrestling. And we're looking forward to seeing what Rogue can bring to the table with us, John.
Well, I mean, you make it sound like he has experience.
Well, I don't know that you could say he's a veteran, but he's definitely been around for a long time.
Well, maybe old Jordan Christopher here might learn something if he don't get killed or the wind don't blow him away.
Well, now Rogue's going to be calling for a timeout right here.
That's pretty smart.
Well, we know there is no timeout.
Well, he's got 10 seconds. compose himself and everything. I don't think the crowd out there liked him too much.
No, not at all. Speaking of crowd, John, probably should point out to the folks watching at home, another closed TV taping, but we are going to, in the upcoming weeks, be giving folks some information on how they can be part of TV tapings right here with Era Wrestling.
So he had to be more or less invited.
Well, right now they're closed to the public, and the only people you see here at these tapings basically are staff and their family members, and we kind of try to keep it that way for right now until we get our roster solidified.
Well, that makes sense. And as far as your roster goes, I don't know how much this roster member here, Jordan Christopher, can take this. I mean, he's not faring too well against Rogue. I mean, we got to point out that Rogue does have a size advantage. Of course, I've seen ladybugs with a size advantage over Jordan Christopher.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but I will say that
What
Rogue,
about June Bug then? You agree with that?
John, come on, man. Let's focus on the match a little bit. I do know that Rogue, he used to be very, very big into the tag team side of wrestling. That's what I remember him doing the most. But he's not having a bad showing here. And here you see he's also one of these guys that'll take a shortcut, John.
Well, I pointed out a minute ago he knows how to choke a man. And he's doing it. I mean,
Well,
apparently he knows how to choke a giraffe, too.
He knows multiple ways of doing it.
Well, I mean, it's easy to choke a giraffe with their all neck.
Man. Jordan Christopher watches this stuff, man, and eventually you and him are going to wind up having a little conversation about your comments here each week.
I'll just sneeze and blow away.
And a big clothesline from Jordan. And
He staggered him a little bit
he's
there.
got him staggered. What do we got here? Springboard,
Crossbody.
crossbody, a two, and Rogue's kicking out here. I think it's going to take a little more than that to keep Rogue down. Like you said, he does have a size advantage over Jordan.
Is he going for that top rope leg lariat?
I think maybe that might be what he was going for.
He didn't succeed. Looked like he's going to get suplexed. Or should I say superplexed?
Well, a superplex would have definitely been good for Rogue right there, but just couldn't
It's not
pull it
going
off.
now he's going for it.
A leg lariat, and what do we got here? And that's going to be it, John.
And we got three.
Jordan Christopher gets a big win over the newcomer Rogue. Are you in the woods about where to find Era TV once it goes off the air? Well, don't get angry. We have a solution. Just head over to ERAWrestling.com for all the news and information you'd ever want to know about Era Wrestling. And don't forget, we're also on Twitter for all you tweeters out there. So, getting a little happier now? Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook. Happier now? Thought so. Era Wrestling. We are everywhere. Okay, John. Here we've got still somewhat of a newcomer, Bobby Dark, taking on the Era Television Championship #1 contender, Draven Lee.
Yeah, great. Two people I don't like.
Well, what'd Bobby Dark do to you?
He didn't done anything to me, but last time we saw him, who was he in the ring with?
Well, he's a wrestler, so he takes matches. It's not his fault who he gets put with in those matches. That's the board of directors' decision, John.
And speaking of one of Era's finest, Mr. Noah Richards, I want to make a public apology for what happened last week. And that does pertain to this match, because that tag team match we saw last week is heavy on Draven Lee's mind. His match against Payne for the television championship is weighing heavy on his mind. He's probably not even paying attention to Bobby Dark right now.
Well, I'll tell you something. He better be paying attention to Bobby Dark, because right now Bobby's got the upper hand on him.
Not anymore.
And here you see a pinfall attempt by Draven Lee, and Bobby holding on to that headlock.
Now, What do you speculate would happen if Bobby Dark won?
Another pennant. Well, Draven Lee is penciled in for a chance at the TV title. I don't suspect that would change, but I could be wrong. But I think when he beat the Deathstalker, that was the #1 contendership, and he's got it. I don't really see how it could be taken away, but Bobby Dark would certainly shoot awful high up into the rankings.
Well, yeah, you would imagine so. But I think Draven needs to focus here. He's not even really putting in much offense or defense.
And here you see Bobby Dark delivering a big clothesline. And I tell you what, John, I'm tending to agree with you on that. I think Draven is kind of preoccupied with some other things that's going on right now in his wrestling career, and he may have looked a little bit past Bobby Dark. He does not look prepared as he usually does for this match. Now you see a big suplex.
He is on the offense here, but I mean, what kind of toll do you think the tag match last week had on Draven Lee?
Well, I know he took a big DDT at the end of that match. I know Payne kind of put the boots to him a little bit there in that match, and he's got to still be somewhat sore. But I tell you what, Draven, well, here you see him, he's got the upper hand now with this armbar, trying to get a submission.
I mean, people have tapped out to that before.
They have. But what I was going to say earlier, I tell you, Draven, it's real easy to look past a guy when you've got such big things in front of you.
And you know, unfortunately,
here you go, a big pin attempt, Bobby Dark, and that was close. That was very close.
Well, as I was going to say, unfortunately, you know, you brought up the DDT. It's very dangerous. You can cause brain damage. You can get a concussion. Anything can happen. But with Draven Lee, how would you know if he had brain damage?
John, I tell you, man, one of these days I'm going to come into the office to work, and they're going to tell me they found you laying in a ditch somewhere. You realize that, don't you?
That'll never happen. I mean, the office has had great security.
I wouldn't be surprised if Payne and Nora Richards don't beat you up and throw you in a ditch.
Hey, now.
After what happened last week?
No. They understand accidents happen. And, you know, Payne, he's concerned with Draven Lee. He's concerned with defending the TV title. But he's not worried.
And here you see a big splash attempt and a miss by Draven and a spear by Bobby Dark. Now, I'm going to tell you something, John. I don't think Bobby Dark's really got enough weight behind that it's going to put a man out, but it certainly will soften you up for a move like he's going for right here, a Boston Crab.
Well, I mean, you got to give him props, though. I mean, he has more weight than, say, Jordan Christopher.
Well,
I heard he's not in the building anymore. You know, he walked over an air conditioning vent and it blew him out a window.
John, man, you're just...
Hey, he might have a 3-count right
You're
here.
asking for it.
Nope.
Here you are working with these guys every day. All they got to do is come over here at the commentary table and grab you up by your shirt collar. Don't you ever worry about that at all?
Well, my shirt collar weighs more than Jordan Christopher, so I doubt it's going to happen.
But anyway, let's focus a little bit on the match here, John. Bobby Dark continuing to have a great showing right here.
Oh, clip the knee on that one. That great showing from Bobby Dark might be over.
Well, he's no pushover. I think he's positioned himself to secure a job here with ERA Wrestling. Here we're seeing him back for the second time.
He's fighting back right now.
He is.
He's
going to go for something
here.
And an elbow to the side of the head is what he gets.
You know, that could bust an eardrum.
And
no,
what we
he's
got
setting
right
him up.
here.
I think we've seen Draven do this before.
And what is this? Draven driver.
Yep.
And I think I think that might be it.
I've never seen
And what's
anybody
he
kick out
doing
of it.
here?
Just for good-
Swanton,
Just for good measure, I guess.
2 and a 3 count, and that's it. And you can hear the folks right here. They're behind Draven Lee 100%, John.
Well, they can get behind him all they want, but he's still not going to win the television championship.
Nonetheless, huge win this week. Folks, we'll be right back. Would you like to see ERA Wrestling for free? All you have to do, head over to ERAWrestling.com, send us a question or comment, and if we read it on the air, you'll receive a free admission to the ERA event. Head on over to ERAWrestling.com now.
Mr. Windell, look, she can wait. Jay, I gotta talk to you. Shush. Despite what you say. Really? Why ain't that pretty? I hope you enjoy wrestling, okay? Thank you, honey. Appreciate you coming. There you go. There you go, buddy. All right. Are you done?
Paul Buchanan, if I am ever talking to a fan, shut up until I'm through.
Look, despite what you and the...
Now, you may talk.
First of all, despite what you and these people think, the children are not the future. Second of all, I have a bone to pick with you about the matches that my men have not been getting. Deathstalker and James Cole are on a roll, and they have yet to receive consideration for a championship match. So I am here not to ask you, because that's going to do no good, but to demand and threaten legal action if my men are not given matches against the champion, Pain.
First, if your men was as good as you think they are, they would be champions. Tell you what. Your Stalky baby, Deathstalker, wants a match against Pain.
Yes,
He's got it. He's got it.
he'll be the champion.
It's a non-title match.
What?
It's a non-title match.
That's negating the whole point of what I'm asking my lawyers. We'll hear about
Take
this.
it or leave it. Take it or leave it. As far as I'm concerned, conversation over. Take it or leave it. Sign the papers or shut up. Go ahead.
Lawyers are going to hear about this. They're going to pay. I am going to make people pay.
Ever since the Old West, America has looked to heroes. Men who would take on all challenges and overcome all obstacles. ERA now has that hero, a hero you can depend on. He is the ERA television champion. He is Pain, a man of greatness who transcends normal men. A man who makes headlines everywhere he goes. He is the definition of strength. And with trustworthy Noah Richards in his corner, watching his back at all times, they will succeed in preventing all injustices. They are ERA's finest heroes, Pain and Noah Richards. Paid for by the Coalition to keep Pain the ERA television champion forever and ever and a day.
Let's go. Wait.
Okay, John, this week's main event, Deathstalker taking on former television champion David Michaels, and here we go, right to work for these guys.
Oh, Paul thinks he's happy. He thinks he's happy. Deathstalker take on Pain this week in the non-title. Well, he's not happy about the non-title part. He's mad about that. But why would he want to get in the ring with Pain? Why would he want to put Deathstalker in that position? I know he's thinking, well, if he beats him, he might get a title shot.
I think that what happened with that was he put him in that position because he just assumed it'd be for the title.
Why would he assume that? That's the question. Deathstalker, the reason he loses is either because he's crazy and he gets himself disqualified, or because Paul himself causes him to lose. We've seen it happen numerous times.
Yeah, it seems to be an epidemic going on here in our wrestling. Managers causing people to lose. I don't know what's
Now,
going on.
there's no sense in getting this personal.
We're not getting it personal. I'm just making a simple
We're going to talk about the
observation.
match at hand.
Well, we could do that too. Deathstalker's got him back into the corner right here. And Deathstalker is a big guy and hard to handle. And David got his work cut out for him, but right now seems to be the game plan.
He just strolled away.
Yeah, seems to be the game plan to stay away from him, which is probably a pretty good game plan.
Well, now we got to think David Michaels is probably a little weakened down himself right now. He just had a good tag match last week against Noah Payne.
Or they got a big win. Him and Draven Lee.
Let's keep talking about the match.
Okay, no problem.
But I can't help but point out, and I actually enjoy pointing this out because I don't like Paul Buchannan or Deathstalker, but Paul thinks that Deathstalker should get a shot at the television championship. So he goes to JJ Windell. Now you can correct me any time when I'm wrong. He goes to JJ Windell demanding a title shot for Deathstalker. Now, what exactly is going on in Paul's mind to make him think Deathstalker deserves it? Now, last time we saw him, he wrestled Jordan Christopher, and Paul caused him to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's keep in mind who the current #1 contender is for the television championship, Draven Lee. Who did he beat to become the #1 contender? Deathstalker. Because of Paul Buchanan.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't want to sit here and go into a history lesson here, but come on now. I mean, this is common sense. What makes him think that Deathstalker is qualified to get a title shot?
Well, I think obviously when you manage someone, you're always going to think that they're more qualified than the next guy to get a title shot. Because let's face it, you've been a manager for however many years now, and that's your meal ticket. And here you see choke being applied.
And right now, Paul Buchanan's meal ticket, Deathstalker, does have the upper hand. He's choking him, and we got to be careful here. Deathstalker's known to get disqualified.
Yeah, and doesn't seem to care if he loses a match either.
No, he doesn't. All he wants to do is hurt somebody. And that's a bad place for David Michaels to be.
Well, and Paul Buchanan's certainly not above.
You can see him in the background stomping him.
Getting involved in a match, and there he is.
It looks like the Deathstalker is about to get disqualified if he don't stay out of the face of the official.
What's he going to do right here, John?
Looks like he's going to counter clutch.
Counter clutch, here it comes. And David's doing a smart thing by trying to keep his knees under his body so that there's not as much pressure on his lower back.
But there's 350, 400 pounds of pressure on his back right now.
Still get a lot of pressure on the chin and the neck, pulling the head back like that too.
And you can see Paul Buchanan's up there happy. He's clapping, he's cheering. But that's not going to happen when the Deathstalker takes on Payne next week.
Just quit, David.
Well, I'm interested to see that. Honestly, that's one of the better matchups in wrestling. You got two guys who are similar. Here you see Paul Buchanan getting involved in a match.
Well, I mean, now he slaps him.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Insult to injury, I guess, because I don't think that's going to be doing any injury.
Well, apparently by that slap, he hasn't been practicing slaps too much.
No.
I don't think that done a whole lot of damage to David.
It might have surprised him.
But I was touching on earlier there, I'm interested to see the matchup between Deathstalker and Payne because they're so evenly matched and for the most part have the same style of wrestling.
See, that David Michaels just went that goes on twice now, and that's what happens when he goes third time. Well,
went to the proverbial well too many times, so they say, and positioned Deathstalker to get a pinfall attempt there.
Well, you know the old saying, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you. But, see, David, he hasn't heard that saying apparently, because he went for that same clothesline twice. It didn't work, so he went a third time. And he about got his head knocked off. See, Payne's not going to fall for that. That's why Payne is a television champion.
Well, as I said, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be something else next week, folks. And you don't want to forget about that and tune in next week to see that big main event.
But here's the conundrum. Why should Payne have to even wrestle Deathstalker? What does he have to prove? He has a title defense coming up against Draven Lee.
It doesn't have anything to do with Payne, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the Deathstalker. The old saying goes, the squeaky wheel will always get the oil. And unfortunately for ERA, Paul Buchanan's the squeakiest wheel around.
Well, he looks like he's about to get a blackout.
Well,
David has a
does.
but Deathstalker's running up behind him.
And there you see a big splash, and I don't know that he didn't hit his head on the post right there, Johnny.
Yeah, he doesn't seem all that animated at the moment, does he? It looks like he's about
He
to
might
get
be
counted
out. Well, he's moving around, but I don't know if he's going to make this count, John.
Is it voluntarily? Is he moving on his own free will? Because it looks like he's just twitching.
And we've got a bell here, John. We got a winner by count out, the Deathstalker. And that's a big win because David Michaels being the former television champion. That's a feather in the Deathstalker's cap.
They better enjoy this win because it's not happening next week.